check. Okay, so you already know what this is about. With season 2.5 coming to an end on Marvel Rivals, I figured I'd do my tier list on each single characters based off of my experiences, from all the VOD reviews, from other people, from myself. Now, mind you, these are just some of my opinions and overall just experiences, like I said, and none of these should be taken out as your own opinions. You're allowed to have your own versions of opinions, however you want. This is just once again based off of my experiences, and it could change over time in like future updates. I don't know if I'll keep doing more of these tier lists. So then again, these tier lists should not be used to justify your opinions. Okay, these are just my opinions and my experiences. Okay, if you had your own experience, have at it. But here we go. Now, starting off with Phoenix, which she obviously is not here, but from the gameplays and everything, she looks pretty good. Even though I literally am not in season 3 yet, I haven't got a chance. But again, this is based off like from what I've seen, and I think she looks pretty decent. I don't know. I can't really just put her in a like a mid high, cause like okay, but like I said, based off of the gameplay, so I'm gonna say again. Then again, this is just from what I saw from other streamers and the trailers and everything. I can't say too much, but once I get my chance, maybe I'll change it. Who knows? We'll see. Hawkeye is it's very common. It's very common. I mean, with precise aim and just everything else about this character, he's just too much. Sometimes he's a little too much. But yeah, I really like him. Thing. I really love the Thing. He's great for the lower ground characters, but against flyers, at least as of right now, not so much. But once season 3 comes, that's all gonna change. That's all gonna super change. But yeah, Storm. Storm is actually pretty good. I wouldn't say the best, only because he still can be susceptible to like divers or Hulk characters like Spidey, Hela, Punisher. The only good thing about that against dive is that little electricity field where anyone in it gets struck by it. She has the fastest ult charge. Her team up with Jeff with the Sharknado is insane. And previously with Torch, which that's about to get removed. I believe, yeah. It's about to get removed. But she's really great for most of that. Groot is still a pretty great tank, despite plenty of tiny little nerfs he's been receiving. He's still really strong. Just make sure Wolverine and Punisher is banned from your games and you're good to go. Mr. Fantastic, this son of a gun. You know what? I just gotta say it. This guy doesn't die. He's great at peeling. He deals amazing damage. Pretty good damage, I'll say. And his inflated states, which he gets it like kind of quick. And then when he turns into a wall, you just can't do anything with it. And his ult is pretty decent. Great for like distraction or kind of like it's really annoying. It's really annoying. So I really like Mr. Fantastic, but also hate going up against him. Luna Snow is amazing. Great healing / damage. Like you can pretty much treat this character like a DPS if you want. Just run triple support and you're good to go. One of the best ults. Just follow her for 12 seconds. She can also change that to damage boost and everything. Against dive, she could just freeze them if timed correctly, if aimed correctly. But yeah, she's pretty great. Now for Bucky, despite some of the nerfs and like the lack of player counts I haven't seen. I'm not saying I haven't seen him ever. I still see him on the occasion. He's not entirely bad. With that being said, I'll put him in A. Mainly because he's still good. They didn't botch him, okay? But they did give him a slight cooldown in hopes that he won't be too much. Even though in some situations he can still be. But nah, he's cooled down. He's cooled down. Psylocke. I really like Psylocke. For her A, she's still pretty strong, pretty good. She deals like an insane amount of burst damage. Like if you just go in the back line, you just pop them twice, pop, and then just done. They're just done. Like, she's insane. I like Psylocke. Hela, you know, obviously, just 2 taps in the head and you're done. Hit scan is great. Great defenses, somewhat, I guess you could say. And a whole ultimate is amazing. If a Strange is not blocking you, but you could just like have your team help you shoot the Strange shield, or just shoot Strange in general, and that block is useless. That's my cat. That's insane. But yeah, she's pretty great. Oh wow. Well, you already know what I gotta say about this guy after this experiences against Flyers. And despite him being a common counter to Flyers, that doesn't mean he can handle multiples of them. Especially with Ultron, since he's pretty much like the enabler, or Iron Man, essentially, because he's the anchor to the team up. But since Ultron is the one that has all these capabilities to keep the team alive, you know, the drones that follows you around, or like how he dashes, or just hits a overshield to keep him alive and sustain much longer, and his ultimate is pretty good. Well, we're gonna get to him, but right now we're talking about this guy. My fault. We're talking about Spider-Man. Despite all of that, and despite some few common, numerous amount of counters this man faces, and despite his niche level, that's the best I can say. He's not entirely unplayable. You just gotta work a lot harder. And I know for season 3, he might get hit pretty hard. But hey, at least he's getting the black suit with the dances. So that'll compensate for the nerfs, I guess. But overall, he still feels great. He feels great. He's just extremely niche. Don't let people tell you otherwise, okay? If you're like great with Spidey, then you got it, bro. Ain't nobody stopping you. You good. Especially when you can just pull tanks off. Nothing. Like, he could be very annoying. But, you know, I still love my GOAT. I'm still gonna play him. Rocket Raccoon. Honestly, bro, it's either between A or B, because there's a few things about him that kind of makes me feel like he may not be an A. Or I would. Okay. This one, I mean, I guess, you know what? I'll just do it. Just do A. You know, great healing, great survivability, great movements. BRB, that brings you back every 45 seconds, but that cooldown can reset if Rocket dies quicker. Which, I mean, I guess is somewhat useful. And I don't know if they're going to ever change that, but as of right now, he gets a reset. And his ultimate is pretty nice, you know, 25 on damage and bonus health. Only downside is if the enemy is smart enough, they'll just shoot that amplifier and your ult is useless. But most of the time, they don't pay attention to equipment anyway, so you should be good to go. Anyways, here comes my beloved, glorious king, Dr. Stephen Strange. I mean, it's obvious. What else can I say? You know what? Hold on, let me just... And you know what? Speaking of the order, it doesn't matter if the order. Like, this doesn't matter. Like, they're just in here. But for these two specifically, I make an exception because they're my goats. They're simply my goats, man. I don't know what to tell you. There's not really much to say about Strange. Like, he's just everything at once. And even after the nerfs or the slight buffs or whatever, he's still goated. That's all I can say. Like, this man is simply goated. Now, Adam Warlock, Shadow Quad King. He's great still. Great poke. Decent healing, because remember, this is an off healer, not your average main healers like Invis, Luna, Cloak, you know what I mean. But overall, it's still really great healing, and when he does headshots, that cooldown like cuts down shorter. His soul bond incredibly strong, mitigates damage, and depending on how much, can survive big ults like Mags, Iron Man, Wanda's. He's amazing, and his ultimate is amazing as long as you don't ult in the middle where Bucket can see you. But overall, smart Atom players, like what? They know how to make him work, bro. He doesn't need to fly. Perfection does not need flight mobility. He prefers to stand still and take the hit because he's him. You feel me? Anyways, Captain America. Hey, shout out Mark Deasy, by the way. Hey, listen. I know it sounds crazy, but listen. The only thing that's holding him back is that shield recovery. For that health to recover every 4 seconds, that's the only thing that's holding him back, because you gotta wait that long for your health to come back, and it takes forever. Like, everything else I can understand, like the base health and his ult charge being nerfed, I get that, because this dude is strong. His survivability and momentum is insane for a tank. I mean, he's one of the fastest tank we got. Well, aside from Venom, who has a one swing ability, but Cap in general, like, he's like a super DPS, bro. Even though he doesn't deal like insane amount of damage, it's still decent damage. Especially like if you know how to combo with this character, you can like shred an enemy down in moments. Like, this guy is amazing, and he's great for stalling. Great stall character. Just get on point, 99%, hit your ultimate. And speaking of his ultimate, those that still doubt his ultimate, saying it sucks, just doesn't understand the whole point of what his ultimate is. The whole point of it isn't just to like make him insanely strong or anything. It's not one of those types of ult. What it is a stall ult. It grants him bonus health, meaning it's a bit tougher to kill him because he keeps getting bonus health. And the best part about it, the trails that he leaves, any team that steps on it gets bonus health from that as well. So it's essentially like a support ult. It's kind of like a support ult. So if you follow Cap's trails, you're getting his bonus health. And that's one of the nicest thing about it. So, you know, to me, Cap is still like one of the greatest tanks. But some people just don't see that because they don't understand how this character works. And back then, I will admit, I didn't understand how this character worked. But that's because, well, I was still learning the game back then. But now that I get it, now that I understand, now I realize, okay, this guy is actually amazing. He's one of the best, bro. And people tell you otherwise, don't let them. Let freedom tell you the truth. And that's the truth, man. He's still good despite the nerfs. I mean, like, again, the shield recovery is the only thing holding him back, and I kind of hope that they can like reduce it back to its like original cooldown, or maybe at least make it like 3 seconds, anywhere shorter, because 4 seconds is too long. I don't see 4 seconds as good enough. Everything else they can keep. Oh, and maybe bring back his 400 health shield. That'll be nice too. Just buff his shield and that shield recovery. That's it. That's all you gotta do. That's all you gotta do. And he's back to being like maybe somewhat a S tier again. You know what? Hold on. There you go. That's perfect. Okay. Enough of the glazing of Cap. I'm sorry. I'm talking too much. We're like, what, 12 minutes deep into this video. I'm gonna have to speed this up or cut it down or something, man. Moon Knight. This guy, I'll put him in B. He's a great peeler and a great AoE attack. And his Ankh is pretty useful against like any divers that try to get your supports or you sometimes. But for Moon Knight, he's very like susceptible, if that's how you say it, against dive, because you know any dives can just mess him up. And the only movements he really has is like a double jump and a grapple gun, and he floats around, but even then it's just not enough. Fastest ult charge, but can be avoided, so that's one of the reasons why. And then when his crescent dodge just bouncing on enemies is really annoying. The only downside to that is if you're just pumping too much damage and not getting picks from it, that's feeding support charge. That's feeding the enemy support's ultimate. Because, you know, the ultimate is very powerful and they get that from healing. And if you're just doing meaningless damage, all the supports gotta do is just keep them up. And they get the ult really quickly and they just snowball you. So that's the only downside with Moon Knight. But good Moon Knight players knows when to shred them precisely and tell if it's okay to do that. Or they'll do like a flank where they go on the side, throw the Ankhs, crescents, big boomerang, boom. Get a pick or two and they're good. So they're great assassin characters, I will say that. Oh, Loki. Oh my goodness, Loki. Loki. Love to have him in my team. Hate him in enemy side. That's how good he is. Just amazing healing, especially with clones that can triple the heals and damage. Swap places with clones. Turn invisible. Regenerative domain, which if you have your clones out, they also get domain, which is great for your team to have. And his ultimate, you know, just a big dessert for everybody. You copy anybody you want. Copy another support to repeat a support ult, or you can, if you're running triple support, you could just copy another like DPS or tank and like just drop a fat offensive ult on them and just finish them off. Something like that. This character, you can do so much. But you gotta be very strategic with this character, like based on positionings, based on usage of your abilities, all that, etc., etc. But he's a great anti-dive as well. You know, like any Spidey or Cap that tries to get him, you just can't because he's got his domain up every time, or he's switching places. Like this guy's unkillable. He's not the god of tricksters for no reason. God of mischief, what I meant to say. So, yeah, he's too strong. At the point, he needs enough. He maybe needs enough soon. I don't know. I mean, he is. His ultra is getting increased, but that's about it. Like, I think there needs to be more. Nah, let's not. That would be good. Maybe. I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyways, Star-Lord. I still like Star-Lord. He's pretty fun. Not as strong as he used to be, I think, because they keep buffing, nerfing him. Like, they keep messing him up. Like, make up your mind, Hades. His ultimate is amazing. Only problem is most people just hide or hit a support ult unless that's what you wanted to do. Like, you know, you force a support ult, which is good. Well, his ult is amazing, but there's a few downsides. Hypothetically, if a Doctor Strange were to go up, block you, and whip you, you're done. Or a smart Hulk player jumps on you, you're done. But as long as you get pocket healed or bubble or protected, you should be good to go. Emma Frost. Yeah. Like, this character's too much for me sometimes. Like, diamond form, and the worst part about that is she gets that back every 15 seconds, and it's annoying. She just chokeslam you down, kick you to the wall, and if you're a DPS, don't even bother trying. You're just done. DPS does not have a chance. Once you get caught up by that as a DPS, there's no point. There's just no point. And especially as tanks, it's way worse, bro, because you're in the front line, and so is she. And so she just gets to grab you, take you to the other side, and the enemies are going to shred you. That's terrifying. And it's like almost every day I got to go through that. It's to the point where, like, I don't want to see this character anymore. I don't. I'm glad she's getting nerfed next patch, but even then, I feel like that still will not be enough. Because, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't want this character to be completely botched up. I don't want her to be completely unplayable. That would just make the game unfair. Because the whole idea of this game is, you know, keep it as balanced as possible. But I just wish that, you know, they find a way to, like, tune her down to where she's not too strong and annoying. The only thing I would add on is, like, increase that cooldown in diamond form, bro. Because she gets it too quick. That's all I would do. That's all I'm going to do is just increase her ultras on the diamond. That's the only thing I want them to change. Everything else is fine. Everything else is fine. But regardless, this character is insane. Okay? That's all I got to say. Black Widow. You know, I mean, listen. Let me put it this way. Not all Black Widow mains, but always a Black Widow main. Now, don't get me wrong. If you have amazing aiming, then you're a demon with this character. And I appreciate that for the commitment on playing this character. However, this character has been ruined by the vast majority of the communities, mostly because anytime you see a Black Widow, she's just considered a throw pick. Now, I don't want to say that like in every game's like if you intentionally like want to play this character because you want to learn her or you're really good with her, especially if you have a lord on her, then good for you. You know, I appreciate that. You know, each character should be for everybody, and if you do good with her, then I respect you for that. But nowadays, like whenever people see this character hovered on the team, immediately someone's gonna hit you with the please no Widow, please, you're throwing my game, and it's like you can't get a break from it. Like, now this character's ruined. Nobody trusts this character anymore. And no matter what types of buff she gets, she's still going to be weak. And especially against dive sometimes. Like, you can't do anything with this character much. And when she does land headshots, it's not like an immediate pick. Like, you know, like Hawkeye or something like that. Which I think, at this point, they should at least buff the headshot to where it does a one shot. I know it sounds scary. I know that sounds scary, you guys. But Hawkeye does that anyways. And most people don't aim anyway, so what's the point? They should just make it to where you get a headshot. This is one of like the toughest characters. Why is she not able to do that? At this point, if they do at least that, then this character can finally be good. potentially. Or she maybe needs like a complete rework to her kit. Like give her a new ability, give her like maybe extra weapons or other defense capabilities or something. I don't know. She needs something to make her more viable to this. But nowadays, anytime people see a Widow, it's immediately, oh, throw in my game. Throw in my game. And here's the thing. There's two types of Widow throwers. One version where, like I said earlier, if you actually play Widow because you want to get good or you are good with her, but if you lose the game, people are going to call you out for throwing, even though you did fine or it wasn't really your fault. It's never really a Widow's fault, but it's usually going to be because they either perform poorly or the team sucks that bad that they don't want to take accountability, so they put it on one of the highest skill ceiling characters' fault. Say, oh, it's your fault, like how it was Spidey or Cap or Adam. Like, it don't matter if you do good. If you lose that game with any of those characters, especially Widow, it's your fault. According to your team, that's all it is. That's one type of version of throw, even though that's like only with if you like perform poorly, then maybe it is your fault. But hey, I mean, what it is what it is. But if you did good but lost, then it's not your fault. But that's for the ones that perform poorly. Now, on the second version of throw Widows, and everyone already knows this by now, the intentional throwers, like people that like either are just trolls or angry that their main got banned or taken, to the point where like they just pick Widow up to just completely throw the game out of anger or spite, or like if the game goes badly, then they'll just pick up Widow and just in a way of saying they gave up. They just don't want to do this anymore. They're like, there's no point of winning the game. I can't. So they pick up Widow and there's that's two types. Okay, one that like just performs poorly and refuses to switch, and the other that intentionally does bad, like doesn't want to at least try, or they just completely gave up. Those are two types of Widow throws. Alright? Again, I know I spew a mouthful for each of these characters, and I apologize in advance, but I just want to give out, like I said, the experiences, like, from, all the games I played, and obviously from other people, because everybody else experienced this, everybody else. But for me, personally, this is just how it went out for each of these characters. So yeah, I apologize in advance for my excessive amount of yaps. Anyways, Thor. I really like Thor. I don't think he's that bad. In some situations, yeah, but he's pretty good at serving like any form of versatile. Like you can do whatever you want with this character as long as you know how you do it, how you play Thor in a specific way. Most of the times, people treat him like a dive character, even though he's not intentionally a dive, especially when there are other dive tanks that does it better than he does. Yeah, I mean, you could do whatever you want as long as you know what you're doing. But most of the time, Thor is all about putting in pressure, because of his momentum, because he gets bonus shields for just pressing buttons, and his Rune Awakening, which he just throwing a bunch of lightning at you over and over again. Which I know he's like a rune farmer character now, but based on how you use it, it's pretty, like, if you use it, if you maintain it, that's how I don't know how to say it, but basically if you just maintain it, then yeah, you're pretty much shredding down people. But yeah, he's pretty cool. He's pretty great still. I know a lot of people say Thor sucks, especially in that Ignite tournament, where like no pro players pick the character up. That's how bad he is. Don't listen to that. Who cares what the tournament says? You don't let that tournament define how good or bad this character is. You do. Okay? And I'm gonna sit here and tell you that he's still pretty viable. It's how you make him work. It's how you make any of these characters work. Sure, some better than others. I will put it that way. But that doesn't mean you can't make each of these characters work. Okay? Just because there are some better than the others, that doesn't mean the ones lower are worse. That's all I got to say. And characters like, Mantis, which, I mean, listen, okay. For Mantis, I'm going to put him in B. Because she's a great DPS. Deals an insane amount of damage. Yes, usually works in triple support. I get it. Because her healing are like a hot healing. Okay? But she does grant boost damage, which is great for Widow players. And with that, she could be in B. But as of right now, you're not always gonna get this combo. But I did have this experience before where they tried to do it, failed miserably because they don't know how to use it. But they have done it, and sometimes it does work. It boosted Spider-Man, can handle flyers much more easier. So she is great for that, and her ult is pretty decent, but the thing is, it only lasts 9 seconds, and it's not as effective as any other support ult like Luna's, Invis, Cloak, you know what I mean? But thankfully she will be getting buffed soon, so I'm happy for her. But she's a really great character. It's just, most of the times, if you're gonna pick her up, you might need that, you might need a triple support. And speaking of triple supports, you know, any of these supports with Adam, Mantis, and Star-Lord in the mix, because you know about the res comp. Everybody knows the res comp, where Adam grants these two a revive ability, which that's his original passive, but now these two get that passive, which is pretty great and insane if you use it correctly. You just keep coming back alive again and again. Oh, you know what? Rocket in the mix. Matter of fact, you could run a Guardians of the Galaxy comp with like the remaining Guardians of the Galaxy. You know, these four with Groot. That's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already. Now, who will be your sixth player? You would obviously need like a second tank, right? You could throw in Thing. Why Thing? Because in the comics he did join the Guardians of the Galaxy for a bit, or Venom. Whatever. If you read the comics and know the lores, and any of these characters were part of the Guardians of the Galaxy, throw them in it. I don't care. Even though I know it's weird to see a Groot and Thing as a team, because usually Groot is a counter to Thing. Why? Because of his walls. You know, any walls in the way, Thing can't really do much. He's just stuck there. But that don't mean you can't run the two. You can run a duel with a counter like Spidey with a Namor, or Thing with BP, as long as you figure out any form of adapt and cooperations and something like that. I don't know. But back to my idea on the Guardians of the Galaxy team comp. You just throw these 5 in there plus anyone else who can sub in however you want. But yeah, I yap again. I can't stop. Penny Parker. I can't say she's entirely bad. Her lack of mobility can hold her back, despite her having this one little web pull, which I guess is okay. But even then, like, you just follow her and she's still gonna get messed up. Her nest and mines are a great defensive ability she has, especially with that rocket team up, which dives cannot do anything about unless. But it doesn't mean it's insanely powerful. You just have to like learn to either adapt or, you know, run a poke comp. You know, any characters that can like shoot the thing. Find the nest, you shoot that thing, and they're useless. And again, Penny is very susceptible because of lack of mobility, aside from that web pull. So she's pretty easy to shut down and easy to counter, you know what I mean? And for Rocket, well, it's a little bit trickier because he's very small and quick, making it tedious for dives. But if you're able to capture him, then good for you. But you might have some troubles along the way. But again, if you're running a dive comp and you don't want to see Penny, I would say don't ban Penny, but rather Rocket. Usually you ban Rocket because, like I said earlier, because he has a small hitbox and great mobility, it's hard for dives to get him. And again, everything else about him, his res, his ult, and his overall healing, everything about that makes him far more viable than ever. So if you're that worried about like the Penny and Rocket team up, just ban Rocket. Easy as that. Super easy. Rocket alone is like gonna still carry the game. It's like that's where you gotta like start being very sophisticated with your bans choices. With Penny, I mean, yeah, she can be annoying. She's not that strong. And it seems ridiculous. Magic. I really like Magic. Deals insane amount of damage. Great mobility. Her ult is pretty nice. Can be a bit overwhelming, but if used correctly, you can hypothetically, and I'm not saying for every Magic mains, but in like a 0.1% chance, you could 1v6. Again, 0.1% chance. It's like it never's gonna happen. But if you somehow did it, then props to you. Give them a prize, bro. Because I have seen this one clip. And I don't know how they did it, but they just like that, bro. They're them. But you're not always gonna get that every moment. But if you did, then props to you. But yeah, she's great. I really like Magic. It's cool. Punisher. I think he was always a pretty great character, a very decent character, especially even before the buffs. Great pokes, great against like group walls or flyers. His turret just eats up everybody if you're not paying attention to him. But even if you are, you're still gonna get shredded during the process unless you like you plan a coordinated attack on how to stop him from doing that. Which most of the times, yeah, he can still be taken down pretty easily. But most of the times you just can't really do that because other teams are stopping you from stopping him, or his bullets are just coming at your face hard, and there's not really much you can do about it. So you just get eaten up, and because of that, it builds up his ult really quickly. And speaking of his ultimate, you gotta be prepared. You gotta be prepared, because that is like one of the greatest ults that he has. Especially if he's getting pocket or shielded. Only thing that can hold him back is if that mag is there on the other side, and he has his ult as well. Don't bother trying. Don't bother trying. You're cooked. But yeah, he's pretty great. Jeffy. Listen, I'm not trying to be too harsh on this little guy. And I don't think he's entirely bad. I'll be nice. This is the nicest I can be to him. This is the least I can do. And it's not because of the rework he got. No, I think he's fine with the rework. I think it was, at first it was like a bit concerning, but after like experiencing it, I realized, man, maybe he did it. Because that little dive where he's like just hiding and surfing around, where they made it into like a cooldown instead of like infinite, is kind of good. Because like, come on, let's be real. Who really wants to be chasing him doing that forever? I mean, he could still kind of do it if he managed that cooldown effectively. The bubbles aren't that strong, but it is pretty nice that it gives you a tiny bit of healing. And his primary attack, which is now an attack because it does healing and damage, so that's pretty nice. And his little burst bubbles, it pretty much knocks back enemies. And I will say, if used correctly, his ultimate, which most people would avoid, but if you use effectively, you swallow a whole bunch of enemies, spit them out, or fall with them. Insane. And also you get healing if you're swallowed, if you're a team getting swallowed. Just pray you don't get one of those Jeff things. Again, I've said this earlier with Widow. The same saying that you're gonna hear for almost every other character. Not all of this particular character, but usually, always, a character. And Jeff is that perfect example. Because also, throwers play this character a lot. I've seen it, and it's frustrating. It's like people do this, whether unintentionally or intentional. It is just annoying. Like, out of all the supports you're saying, and again, not saying Jeff is entirely bad. If you make him work, good for you. I mean, this guy is MVP merchant. Like, this dude be just robbing MVPs from everybody, him and Ultron. But there's like still plenty of other supports that can do just a good amount of job, but better. I mean, Rocket's right there. You don't even have to aim with this guy. I mean, you do more healing if you do aim. But like, for crying out loud, just pick up Rocket at this point. Like, I would much rather you just pick up Rocket. Or C&D. Like, you know what I mean? Again, not saying he's bad. If you make him work, good for you. But there are other better options. Like, Jeff, I just don't know. I don't know why. Especially with Storm banned. Like, her tendency of getting banned. Why would you still play Jeff anyway? Like, most of the time you would play Jeff with a team-up, right? Usually. But if Storm is banned, and you're just going to play him without the team-up, why? What are you doing? Again, aside from all the yaps, I'm gonna keep yapping, so get used to it. Invisible Woman. Dear Sweet Susan. I'm sorry, I'm not Namor. Okay, I'm not a creep like that guy. But yeah, she's amazing. Great healing. Guardian Shield, great especially for flyers. If you're up in the air all the time. If a Star-Lord's ulting and he gets a shield, then he's good to go. Great ability to push and pull away enemies, especially dives. Like if a Spidey's on you, just push him, get him away, beat him, throw that force field at him, and he's gonna swing away. But guess what? If you have that ability again, pull him back in. If an enemy try to leave, oh look, is that Venom leaving because he's getting shredded down? No, just pull him back in. Just pull that fool back in. What I done with you? Yeah, she's amazing. And then of course her ultimate, one of the best things, just big old force shield, big old little area. Just go in there. You get good healing, and you can't be seen if the enemy's out there. But I really like Susan. I really like her a lot. I think she's a little bit too strong. I mean, she's getting buffed, but so be ready. Susan Mains, Cloak and Dagger. Let me put it this way. Great healing, great AOE, a big little bubble and a shield to cast just, well, the bubble for yourself and the shield for like just to pass it on. For Cloak, great abilities to blind enemies and deal more damage doing it. His primary, which you like kinda don't have to aim on. You still gotta look at the enemy a little bit to make sure that the ability goes through. But it's a great ability. A defensive ability where he can turn himself invisible to avoid big ults like Iron Man, Mags, Wanda's if timed correctly. And the ult is pretty nice. You know, 4 dashes for a healing and damage path is pretty nice. Again, if that mag is there, be ready. Because you know what he's about to do. And speaking of mag, I mean, he's just him, bro. He's simply just him. The best defensive tank ever. Best uncle ever. Gives people shields. Lets dives do whatever they want. Let any momentum type characters protect your team if they get hit with a strange ult or something like that. Great shielding. Great primary. And again, great ultimate. You know, his ultimate where he can like absorb any like projectiles or something like that, which can build up that damage, and when he passes it down and smashes upon you, you are cooked. But yeah, he's simply just one of the best out there, man. That's all I can say. And I'm probably gonna get back to him very soon, very soon. For Squirrel Girl, yeah, Hulk, this beloved devil right here. Now, or I could put him in A. You know what? I'm just gonna confidently say it. Now, let me explain about Hulk. Now, mostly you would see Hulk and expect a Gamma team up, right? And that's why he's such an issue character with that team up. You would ban him, right? Of course. But there are more reasons to that. Hulk alone is very oppressive. He's very annoying. He's very strong. If you land and time that jump perfectly on a flying character or a Star-Lord ulting, you can knock him down, or Strange or everything else. He can knock you down when he jumps on you. His exile ability to like kind of stop you. And the best part about it is if you were to get exiled on the point, it does not count you for standing on there because you are exiled. So say for example like at the last moment of the percentage of that point and the team is still on it, like one person, just exile them and they will be uncounted at that point and uncontested. So it's a really great ability and it really stops them. And you know, I feel downside with this character is like his ultimate where he's not like CC immunity. And I'm not saying they should probably give it to him. I mean maybe a little bit. I don't know, because if they gave his ultimate like CC immunity, he's never seen the light of day. Like like you could just take off Gamma Charge, give him an extreme buff. He's never seen the light of day of rank ever. If they were to give him something like that, but I do think he needs some form of buff, something to make him a little more viable in some situations. Because yes, while he is very counterable, like Groot's Wall stops him, or Emma Frost stops him, Wolverine stops him, etc., etc. But a very good Hulk player is very oppressive, very strong. He's just a big distractor. He's another attention horde like Cap. Because he's always jumping in, bubbling, jumping out, jumping in, bubbling, jumping out. Like, he's just gonna keep coming at you, and you have to focus him because he's not gonna stop. But the worst part is he's serving great distraction for the other team to do whatever they gotta do. And that's the worst part. That's the thing with these types of tanks, is their attention horde. Now, Black Panther. Lately, listen, he's very strong. He's very strong, especially a good BP main that can like come out of nowhere, throw spears at you, dashes around constantly. You can't see him, you can't catch him. You're dead immediately. The backline's just dead and gone. And despite numerous counters, which yes, he is a very counterable character. Most dives are. It's very obvious. Just throw the thing in and he's cooked. It's really all about coordination, proper usage of when to peel, or how far you are, or how smart the other team is, or how smart the BP is, or just like stuff like, I don't know. It's very situational. He's very niche. Okay, like he's not entirely too bad, but he still has some level of weaknesses to kind of hold him back. But, you know, when coordinated precisely, you can annihilate the whole team. You're just unstoppable, and that's why people have been kind of like banning him lately. Even though I'm not worried about it. If you're like just not having it with BP, then fine, I guess. I don't know, but I don't think we'll see that many BP bans. I hope we don't see any more BP bans in the next season, especially with like the thing's new ability to take care of flyers and dives. So you shouldn't really be banning any dives any longer, because BP mains are gonna have a hard time. Speaking of which, it's at a point where BP mains are probably gonna have to start banning the thing, even though like the thing with his weakness being against poke, because poke beats brawl, or brawl beats dive, and dive beats poke. It's like a game of rock paper scissors. So if you did have some form of poke on your team against the thing, then he's very weakened about that, because he's a shieldless tank. He's just a big open rock dude. But against dives, he can handle him pretty well. So I don't know. I mean, hey, if you guys BP mains, dive mains, if flyer mains, if that's something you don't want to see, just take considerations. All I'm saying. But where BP stands, he's perfectly in the right spot, I think. I don't know, maybe he needs like a slight buff, but if they did that, people are gonna look at that as a way like, oh my goodness, this character's broken, we gotta ban him. Like, no. Speaking of buffs, like, people thought they were buffing Spider-Man, which technically it was, but it was only to compensate for that team-up anchor he lost with Squirrel Girl, so they had to buff some of his kit. However, they left out a few of his kits, like his primary attack, his web cluster, and his ultimate. I think that's it, but I don't know, there might be more. But regardless, those are the few things that did not get a rebuff. Therefore, he's technically more on the nerf side, unfortunately. And so now you would have to work a lot harder with Spidey, add an extra hit, an extra cluster to your combos. But you better be careful to not miss it, because if you do, then your combo is just all flunked up and you are easily taken care of. So, hey, if you make Spidey work this season, God bless you. And I'm gonna still play this guy. I'm gonna still play him. I'm still playing this fool. I don't care. I'm doing it. It is what it is. I love Spider-Man that much. I'm that much of a fool. But hey, someone's gotta save the cities. Not everyone can wear the mask. You feel me? Oh, Mr. Stark. This little gremlin right here. This behemoth creature that I have to take care of every time. But even though he takes care of me, ever since this little gremlin came in the mix, it's been bad. It's been bad. This dude is he's really good. He's really good, but sometimes annoying. Like, my goat can't take care of him anymore now. Very oppressive. He deals decent damage. His mobility is nice. He does get his ult pretty quickly from doing all that damage. And if used correctly, you're gone. Oh, C and D ult, maximal pulse. Luna Snow ult, maximal pulse. Maximal pulse this, maximal pulse that. Unless you had a mag to take care of him, then you should be good to go. Not again, he's very susceptible against dive and poke. Like, some situations, yeah, Spidey can still take care of Iron Man. I'm not saying he's no longer a counter. He's still gonna be his counter. Or Iron Fist, because he can just jump over there, essentially fly, and auto-lock him. And for pokes like Hela, Adam, Punisher, Star-Lord, Bucky, even though his primary is projectile, it's still considered poke. Any poke range shooter type characters can handle him. Doesn't mean they always should, but just in some situations, if that Iron Man is giving you or your team a hard time, do something about it. Because if you don't, he's just going to keep doing whatever he wants and you're going to lose. Trust me, I've seen it. A good Iron Man, they don't stop. They're that oppressive. And I respect them for that. But I also hate them. And I'm glad they're getting nerfed. Anyways. Scarlet Witch. Yes. Venom. Good old buddy Eddie Brock. I'm going to put him in A. Again, another dive tank like Hulk, like Cap, maybe like Thing. I don't know about Thing. He's very slow. But divers we're talking about create attention to the enemy team. And with this man specifically, he gets bonus shield by just pressing one button. You press one button, more shield. He gets one swing to get away. He dives on you. He can connect his symbiote to you to deal like a little extra damage. And if he has his ult, he's gonna go down. If he times it correctly while he's still connected to you with his cores on, chomps on you, you die. You die immediately. Yeah, man. Yeah, hey, this guy is still great. You know what I mean? I really like Venom. I think he's pretty underrated. Again, very susceptible against CC type of abilities. And like I said, if you swing away at the lowest health, pray that Susan does not have that pull ability. Because if she does, that's her telling you you're not going anywhere. We're not done yet. So be ready for that. Okay? Iron Fist. This one's going to be a little bit tricky. Because, I don't know. There's somewhere a line between A and B where he's pretty good. But I'm just that confident. Like, he's still pretty decent. Now, I know he's a little bit slower and slightly weaker ever since the changes in 2.5, but he's still pretty strong, still pretty annoying, still pretty sustainable. The ability to self-heal, that's really nice. A parry attack where he's like CC immunity, health immunity, like he doesn't lose health, he doesn't get moved at all. Any ultimates, anything. He just does not get messed around with that. And speaking of a CC immunity type ability or ult, like Punisher's ult, or he's CC immunity, I mean, you could still kill him, but you just have to, like, do it precisely. You cannot stun him or anything when he's ulting. Same with, like a parry, like Iron Fist. And his ultimate is pretty good. Pretty strong. I really like Iron Fist. This demon right here, as much as I hate him, it's the truth. It's the truth. And he's going to be even worse in 3.0 with that Phoenix team up. I mean, he alone. Like, ever since the start of Season 1, I've just kept this guy banned. Because every time, as soon as he gets me, it's over, bro. And I know we have Thing and Emma, but the thing is, like, Emma, she would need her diamond form to be granted the immunity. And a good Wolverine that can coordinate attacks and can tell that the ability is not enabled or not on at the moment, they can still kidnap you. And Thing, while even though he can't really move you at all, as he is CC immunity, even though he can't move you, he can still shred you. Because he's dealing percentage max health damage. That's a bit of a word. Same with this guy, like his rapid punches, he deals percentage max health. But he does it worse. Like, he can still shred you pretty good, especially if you're at least not close enough to your team. If they're close, then yeah, the Thing will be fine. But most of the time, he can still shred you, and that's the only concerning part at least. He can't move you, but he will still shred you to bits. But yeah, he's annoying. And his ultimate, because of the excessive amount of damage he's dealing, he gets his ult really quickly, and his ult is one of the best things to ever do. He just lifts people up, dashes them down to the ground, and everyone's just dead. Everyone's just dead because of him. So, all I gotta say is, if you're worried about that stuff, keep him permaban. Because if you don't, what is the point of playing the game? Why do you play the game if you know dang well that this character you don't even have to think with? Like, you can hand a controller to a toddler and they're already top 500 Wolverine. Like, you don't gotta think with this character. He's too much. I really hope they nerf him one day, man. I don't get it. It's at a point. It's at a point where I'm gonna sound crazy for saying this, but I would rather go back to the Bucky meta, to where he was like dang near broken. Where he was freaking Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, you name it. I would prefer him in his prime than him now. That's how far. Like, if I could at least trade off, I want Bucky to be back in the meta again. I want him to be strong again. I want to have problems with this character again, because at least with him, he doesn't like have too much. I mean, he'll pull you and push you away and uppercut you, but with Wolverine, he leaps at you, takes you anywhere you go, and not to mention, if they have a rocket on the other team and he picks up those little blue packets from the BRB and presses the jump on it after he kidnaps you, he can send you all the way up, all the way up, all the way to the other side, or to off to a cliff, and you're just done. Like, that's an insane team combo that you can do. It's insane. But yeah, with Bucky, at least for him, I can somewhat handle him, even though he was broken at the time. But I would at least prefer that more than this. That's how deep down bad I am for at this point. Like, I want Meta Bucky back over this little gremlin one of these days. Ugh. Oh man, I'm gonna just have to stop this yapping very soon before my head explodes and I need to get ready for this update. I mean, maybe by the time this video would be uploaded already after, but you know. Ultron, I wouldn't say too bad, you know, especially a triple support. Like, in dual support, you kind of can make him work, but his healing aren't as effective. Like, all he has is a drone and an overshield. That's about it. He does have nice dash that grants him even more overshield, and his fastest ult charge, where he's dealing damage and healing, is pretty nice. But then again, he's just another flyer that Spidey, Fist, Hulk characters could handle. But due to his sustainability, it's a little bit trickier and longer and tougher to do, because he gets so many shields and protection. But yeah. Oh, Namor. Oh, buddy, Namor, my nemesis. You know, I will at least say that. Let's say this: without squids, if you can aim with this character, that's enough respect I have for you. Especially with like the buffs to where I think it deals more damage, and the projectile speed is much faster from 120 to 150 meters, so it's almost like a hit scan. So he's going to be a little bit more oppressive now with his poke game, rather than worrying so much about his squids game. See what I said there? Not pun intended, but I mean, kind of now. But anyways, he is a great anti-dive / peeling character, I guess. And Gamma Squid is insane. Like, that stuff is just, like, at this point, you ban Hulk to shut down the team up, but they'll still play Namor. And if Namor alone is kind of annoying, you could ban Namor, but Hulk is a more viable ban, because then again, you're not banning Hulk for just the Gamma Squids, but Hulk alone. Like I said earlier, he's very oppressive and annoying, and a good Hulk can just take you down at ease. So I would just say ban Hulk, because with Namor at least, you can handle 2 squids, shut those down, beat him up, and even though he hits his little shield bubble, you just gotta look up, follow him, He's got nowhere else to go. He's cooked either way. He's salmon for dinner. That's all I say, man. But yeah, he is pretty decent. He's pretty cool. In some situations. Even though he's my arch nemesis since I play Spidey and other dives. I gotta give respect to him. Like, I mean, hey, how else can they take care of dives? You know, right? And yeah. And last but not least, my boyfriend. It's a shame. Like, yeah, like with this change to this season and the next, I don't know, I can't say, yeah, there you go. He's still pretty decent. I mean, like, in Season 2.0, insane. I think they overdid it. They overdid it to the point where, like, never mind, we gotta cool him down again. Put out his flames. But he's still pretty decent. And I think he might still somewhat be viable in the next season. But even then, like, he's gonna have the lowest pick rate. And even with the team up with Spidey, where he gives him, like, a little fire webs, you're not really gonna see that much Torch play, and I'm okay with that. Like, if you're not gonna play Torch for me, that's totally fine. You don't have to. I'm not gonna be one of those little people that's gonna tell you, oh, you please play this character for the team up. I need this. Please, like, it'll be great. Like, no. And speaking of which, if you're those types of people, what is wrong with you? It's like, that's only proving that you're just, like, you cannot play this character without a team up, and that's just not cool, bro. Like, you could still play Spidey by himself. Even after this changes, I think he'll still be okay. You just gotta work a lot harder with him, that's all. Just work a lot harder. Because deep down, most Spidey mains I know can never give up. I have faith in you people. You guys will do great. Especially without Torch. But if you really want to play Torch for the team up, cool. That's fine. That is if you're good with him, or you want to get good with him, etc., etc. But he's still pretty decent. We are almost an hour in. This could have been a lot shorter, but I got carried away with just saying a mouthful and explanation to my experiences from each of these characters, whether I played them or played against them. Or like I said earlier, I did VOD reviews. I didn't make videos of VOD reviews, to be more precise. Like, not yet, at least. Maybe one of these futures I might. But I have been watching some VODs, like, offline. Just watching, like, other players, other streamers, etc. I've seen it. And from there, I was like, okay, that's how it is. That's how those characters are, or how you can make them work. But, as of right now, this is the tier list. And, you know, maybe I'll come back to this to change it after the next updates and the next update. But then again, I say this for the last time, all of this should not be used to justify your opinion, as these are just my opinions and my experiences. None of this should tell you, oh, this guy said, this character in this tier, so they're this tier. Like, don't take your opinions out of other people's tier lists. These are just based on how you know the characters, how you deal with the characters, how you play the characters, all that type of stuff. And this is just my experiences. What you're looking at is my experiences, my opinions, my choices, and it is bound to change, well, depending on how each of these characters work out in the new updates. Like I said, you can have however your tier list look, however your opinions look, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. The point is that any of these types of tier lists from other people, including mine, should not be taken to make it as your opinion. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching this insanely long 1 hour video, almost an hour. Like, I don't think I've ever made an hour videos like this, unless it's like streams where it's just like VODs that I like repost, which I rarely do. But I'm gonna just let this, you know, go for an hour, I guess, because right now it says 59:25. I want this to exactly say an hour, maybe a little over, I don't know, because I'm that desperate for like that one big number. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. This is my tier list and everything. But thank you so much for watching, and I'm excited for season 3. I cannot wait to see how it goes. I'm gonna try my best to like kind of stay up to witness it a little bit. I will be working later at that time, but I will have at least enough time to like play the season for a little bit, and hopefully enough time to get back home to keep playing more of it just to have fun. Hopefully it's fun. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys have the great rest of y'all's night, and yeah, I'll see you guys another time. And I don't know what else to say. I'm gonna just end the video. Hey, y'all have a good one, Spidey Squad. Peace out. God bless y'all.